Okay. We are live. Go ahead and say
Hello.
something for the folks at home.
Can folks at home hear me?
Yes, they should be able to.
Hello.
Say something for the folks at home.
Ooh, I hear them hearing me. Can folks at home hear?
That's good.
That's because I forgot to turn off Twitch.
Yeah.
Hey, Twitch,
was
we're
100%.
back. It's been
I missed you.
a while. Yeah.
It's been too long. How long has it been?
The last thing that was in there was Wizard of Oz, so November.
Can we get a soundboard again, but this time instead of playing Terrible Things, it plays In the Arms of the Angels by Sarah McLachlan when we talk about sad things?
Talk about wanting to play horrible things. That's my Seal song. But
That
no.
one? With the dramatic squirrel
That's-
stinger?
Yeah.
What's wrong with
No. Talking about the Sarah McLachlan song you were talking about. That's my Kiss of the Rose. Compared to
Why?
you. Because it is.
Yeah.
Fair. Alan, what's your Kiss from a Rose? Oh, no. That's a good one.
I forget what we had.
You still have Dr. Zayas from The Simpsons?
I love you, Dr. Zayas.
Good timing. Solid selection,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to figure out how to soundboard. We need to use that a lot more.
It's
A
just
lot more.
in the lower left-hand corner, there's a little sound icon that you can click on and do the soundboard.
Oh, no. Oh, no, I can't be trusted. I'm going to pretend like I don't see that. Damn it, Alan. What else did
Yeah.
you find?
That's all I got.
Uh-uh.
Just know if you misbehave, I've got it right here.
I don't like that it's so readily
Yeah.
available.
All right. Shall we begin?
Let's do it.
All right. Hey everybody, welcome to You Have to Watch This podcast. I'm Alan.
I'm Ryan.
And I'm Devin.
Each week on You Have to Watch This podcast, we make each other watch movies one of us has never seen before, at least. This week it was Ryan's pick, and he picked the 1995 film Congo, starring Dylan Walsh, Laura Linney, and Tim Curry. Smashing.
Tim Curry.
Before we get into that, we like to talk about things that we watched over the last week in pop culture in a segment we call We Watch This. I don't think we really didn't watch much this week.
I did.
I know you did. We're going to talk about that. You did your homework after last week's. So what'd you watch?
Alan, I saw the light. I watched Righteous Gemstones. Gosh, it is so good.
Did you?
I know this isn't.
Did
Go ahead.
you do the assignment like I told you to?
No, I didn't. No, because
okay.
I want to watch it. I want to watch it like in order. Plus, I don't think that episode's dropped over here yet.
Okay.
Because I have to watch it through Sky Comedy, and we're always just slightly off.
Okay.
I just got to the episode with them doing Misbehavin', which is so funny. It's the two adults singing about them being little kids misbehaving.
Yeah.
That is so funny.
Well, they have the kids version out there too, where you can listen to them when they were kids doing it.
That was over the credits for it, and honestly, I like the adult version a bit better. But like, this is gonna sound so stupid, right? But John Goodman is a powerhouse.
Mm-hmm.
He is so like, I thought that it was all gonna be satire. It was all, but no, like he like pulls full on like, do not fuck with me face. He's like the most relatable character so far in it. Like, it's so good. I just want more of him.
He's about the only sane one in the family.
He is.
He like. I don't know if we've talked about this on the show or not, but I found myself watching The Connors to the point where I watched all of The Connors over the last few months. Just like on the free channels that it's streaming on like Pluto TV or whatever. He is like so good in that show. It's like little microdoses of John Goodman and then White Righteous Gemstones. Like he's an American powerhouse and such a talent.
He is.
He's so good in the show.
He's so good. The one thing I do say is a little bit funny is we all live in the world, right? We all know what John Goodman looked like in his 30s.
Mm-hmm.
But when they de-age John Goodman to his 30s in The Righteous Gemstones, they just like throw a brown wig on him. And it's like it's very like it's kind of convincing, but also kind of not, just because I know what he looked like at that age anyway. Yeah. I'm just like, okay, well, this is John Goodman now, I guess.
Since we spoke last week, I've watched the second episode of the season, and I'm not going to get into spoilers, but I will say that I have seen Uncle Billy Bobby's Little Billy Bobby.
But I have too. That's the first thing you see of him.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I had to repress that, but they show it again.
It's back. Here it comes back.
Yeah.
I'm curious where the show goes, because it sets up enough intrigue. Oh no!
You get the because he's in Fallout.
I see what you did there. I see what you did. Yeah. Would you describe it as a White Lotus?
No, but I think the joke was justified.
Oh, well done.
Good night, everybody.
Third thing.
Yeah. No, Righteous Gemstones is good. I realize what my time is going to be dedicated to now that this is a thing. I didn't pull a graphic for this. Disney Plus has started another live channel on their app that is just The Simpsons 24/7.
That's so cool.
So that's going to be my free time from now on.
I'm so jealous you guys get live channels. We don't have that with our Disney Plus.
Are you sure?
I checked.
Okay.
Because I would just do that. Like, I would just have like Disney movies on all day.
Yeah. Maybe they'll probably bring it to you at some point.
I hope so.
Yeah. That's all I've got for this week. It's been a crazy week. So
yeah. Did you watch anything, Ryan?
Kristen and I are watching an episode of ER and Stranger Things. So we're doing a rewatch of Stranger Things as we're watching ER. So like it all depends on how we're feeling, what order that happens in every night. But
I need to rewatch Stranger Things before the final season because that's what I do, and I feel like if I start now, I'll have enough time to watch it the whole way through. So
when does the next one come out?
November.
Oh shoot! Okay, we got time.
Yeah.
Ryan, does it hold up?
Yeah. Oh yeah, no. It definitely holds up. I mean, the last season of it was 2 years ago?
Something like that.
Yeah.
It was a while.
Yeah. So I mean, it's fine. Like I do not believe we're in that era yet where, does your thing still hold up? But the one thing that I would say, I do not remember half of what happened in season 2. Season 1 was simple. Like, I could have told you, like, I could have correctly summarized season 1. Season 2, like, a little bit more than half, I'm like, whoa, this is new, even though I know I watched the but yeah, so like I feel like I know season 1 and 3 the best, I think. But that hypothesis will be tested when we get to those seasons.
Right now I'm in full on rewatching Andor mode. Because that comes back next month.
Did new one come out soon?
Yeah.
I guess I just don't pay attention to this. When is that one?
Next month they're releasing 3 episodes a day when they each week.
3 a day.
Like 3 episodes each week.
That's crazy. That's very cool.
Yeah. So you're getting like a mini movie because it's going to be a lot set up like the first season where it's each bunch of episodes
like
is its own arc.
So, yeah, that's cool. Oh, I'm excited. Is it as good as you remember, Alan?
Yes, but the second arc is still slow and hard to get through.
It is.
I have the next episode, the last episode of that to watch, and that one's the good one.
Yeah.
But it's weird seeing the guy from the Bear and the Fantastic Four in that. It's like, oh yeah, he's in Star Wars too. Like,
I just love that he's getting work. He's such a good actor.
He is. That one episode of The Bear with him was just like chef's kiss.
Oh my gosh,
So,
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah,
I need more Bear. That season did not end satisfyingly enough. Give me more, please.
Yes, that should be coming back soon too. So
I need to look.
But yeah, it's kind of just like wait and see until all these shows come back.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, let's get into today's main topic, the 1995 film Congo. Ryan, this is your pick, so I'm going to throw it to you. Take it away.
Okay. So, like Alan said, the movie I picked for the guys to watch is Congo from 1995. It is got to be one of my favorite, just like popcorn movies. I don't know how else to put it. Like, it's not a serious movie. It doesn't really have a message. I know it's based off a book. I couldn't care less about how good or well it followed the storyline. It's just a good, fun movie. And I'll get into some of my explanation of that later on. Our trailers for this, thinking it was weird as like a 9-year-old think, seeing the trailers and going like an evil monkey movie and being kind of confused about it. And I did not see this in theaters. I know that. I saw it when it premiered on HBO or Showtime or Cinemax, one of the 3 movie channels that we had. And I just fell in love with it from the get-go. And this is my introduction to knowing who Tim Curry is or was. So, like this movie, that's when I started pinpointing him in other movies, even though I had seen those movies prior. Like, he didn't stand out as an actor until this. To me. I've owned this on VHS. I've owned this on DVD. I have it on Blu-ray. So it's one of those core movies for me. So that's my history with it. Whoever wants to go first, like, do you have any history with this? And did you or did you even know about this prior?
You want to go, Alan?
Sure, I muted my mic because I've been snacking.
Ooh.
Yeah. Shout out to the Snyder's of Hanover Outlet Factory in Hanover because
They're delicious.
Lots of pretzels. So I had never seen this before. I know this has been on your list for a long time. Probably the last, I don't know, say 10 years that we've been doing this podcast.
Yeah.
So, 9 years, not 10. Wait, what? Yeah, 9 years.
Are we not on 10 years?
Not yet. No.
Are we close to 10 years?
I think we're on 9 years. I think this is our 9
year
anniversary, guys.
Guys.
I'll have to look. But I'd never seen this before. I feel like I've seen a clip of this. The clip where they are sitting down with the general and he yells at Tim Curry to put down the cake. I feel like I've seen that before on like TikTok or something, or like it came on one of the channels. I was like, oh, this is Congo. I should not watch this because Ryan's going to make us watch this for the podcast. But I have an interesting story about how I watched this later. Devin, what you answer his question now.
So I didn't know this was a movie. When you said we were going to watch it, I got it mixed up in my mind with Mighty Joe Young and just figured that was the movie you were going to have us watch. Because I think I remember last time I think on the last podcast, I was like, I have history with this movie, guys. I didn't know what this movie was. I have history with Mighty Joe Young. It's the only movie I've ever walked out of a theater for. I didn't know this was a movie so bad that I asked you guys what movie it was because I genuinely forgot. You said Congo. I played the first movie called Congo that Amazon Prime Video fed to me, watched hour and a half of this, and went, aren't there supposed to be monkeys in this?
Oh no.
So in 2019, there is a movie that's based on a real story of two Norwegian citizens that cross the border into eastern Congo and go on a killing spree. I watched about an hour and a half of that movie. That is not the same movie. So when you guys got a frantic text halfway through my day that goes, "Is it the one with the monkeys?" You guys were like, "Yeah, it's the 1995?" You're like, "It's that one." Like, okay, I have to reset. And I gotta tell you, what a tone shift.
Yeah, I would say so. Just so you guys know,
definitely.
Just so you guys know, I just did the research, and our 9-year anniversary was on the 15th, the Ides of March. So this is our 9-year anniversary special. So,
well, happy anniversary, guys!
Yeah,
back over 9 years.
Yeah, I feel like we did this a year ago too. I was like, it was our anniversary. Yeah. So, but yeah,
I love when that's how anniversaries are, where it's just like spontaneous, but like you kind of remember. Like,
yeah,
your presents are on the way, guys. Don't worry.
Can I tell you the story about how I watched this?
Yes.
So I'm an idiot. I lost my debit card over the weekend.
Oh.
So I had to cancel it and get a new one. And before, what I did, I lost it. So I froze it, and then I had it like on Apple Pay. So I was using that for the last few days, and then I finally went to the bank and got a new card. I meant to rent the movie before I did that because I couldn't stream it anywhere. So I was like, oh, I forgot to rent this movie. What am I going to do? So I had a last minute thought. I was like, hopefully this pays off. If not, I'm going to have to find it on the internet somewhere to watch. I stopped at my local library and they had it on DVD.
That's incredible.
So I had to pay for a new library card because I didn't have mine on me. But
so what? All of £5 or $5?
$1. It was $1.
$1? Okay, yeah. Worth it.
Yeah. So all that to say, support your local libraries.
Yes.
They had so much stuff. I was like, oh, they had shows that were exclusive to Disney Plus on DVD at the library.
Smart House?
Yeah. No, like Falcon and the Winter Soldier, like stuff that's been released, but like they had.
Oh, that's really cool. Yeah. I didn't know that.
Yeah. A whole bunch of TV series, video games. Like support your local libraries.
Yeah.
And tell your congressman to support your local libraries because reasons.
This podcast sponsored by libraries.
Yeah.
Libraries. Read a book, damn it.
No, libraries. Shh. But yeah, so that's how I watched it. Had it, put it in the PlayStation, watched it on the projector. It's good to go.
That's so cool. I was on the projector. Was it good?
It was good. Yeah, much better than the VHS tape.
Fair.
Yeah. But I had to double check. I was like, do I have this on VHS? Because this is one of those ones I would buy in the wild, knowing that we were going to be doing it on the podcast. I didn't have it. So.
What a shame.
Yeah. That. I'm happy that you were able to see it during all of that.
Me too.
Yeah. So one of the things that I like about this movie so much is that one of the reasons why I wanted to show it for so long is just the tone that this movie has, because it's very unique. So this is what happens when a B movie idea gets money to produce it. And because of that, you get this tone where it's like this movie has a definite serious plot, but it's too goofy to be taken completely seriously. And the perfect example, or the perfect like character in this movie that shows this, is Tim Curry's character. Because he's out for a serious reason, but there's no way you can take him completely seriously. And I feel like that embodies this entire film. And that's why I said it's my favorite like popcorn movie, or just kind of like put on to just like relax and really not think about it. Because this is like classic Hollywood adventure movie into the depths of like Africa, like with a modern twist on it. Granted, it's 95, so it's not completely modern, but it for that time, like it was definitely like a modern take on like a classic Hollywood adventure movie. What did you guys think about the like weird tone that this movie kind of put forth?
I thought it was funny that we were making jokes last week about the Tim Curry. I'm going to the only place where capitalism hasn't destroyed, like, space. Like, we were making fun of that. And then he's just doing that voice the whole time.
I know.
Yeah.
So, like, as soon as he started talking, he's like, okay, don't need to take this movie too seriously. It's just a 1995 blockbuster. You could tell, like, this was kind of, Michael Crichton's book was made into this blockbuster called Jurassic Park. What other Michael Crichton books can we take and make into a movie now? And then you get Congo. Like the lab at the beginning was very InGen-esque.
Oh yeah.
The old man who only cares about profits and will spare no expense seemed familiar. And then you have Tim Curry doing his best Jeff Goldblum and just dripping sex appeal through the whole movie. So
The whole time.
Yeah.
Oof. I have a question about him though. Did his accent drop for a sentence or two in the middle of it?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, I thought I heard that.
Yes.
So good.
It absolutely did. You were not imagining that. I noticed that too.
Okay. You know what? Doesn't even matter. He's still a gem. He was so good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think, like I said before, like this was my introduction to him. So, like, what was the movie that you guys? I think we've gone over this before in either Clue or one of the other Tim Curry movies that we've done. But let's go through it again. What was the movie that you saw with Tim Curry in it that you were like, okay, that's Tim Curry, and then you started realizing that he was in other films that like you've liked or like you just started recognizing him from like this one performance?
I've been watching Rocky Horror Picture Show since I was 2.
Okay, so Rocky Horror Picture Show.
No, for me it was Home Alone 2. Like he was always the bad guy from Home Alone 2. Now there's a different bad guy from Home Alone 2, but
yeah, I think that's it for me. Hold on. He's in Dinosaurs, Ryan? I scrolled through his IMDb because I have no idea what he's in. He plays
Tim Curry is in the
Jean-Claude.
show Dinosaurs?
Yeah, he plays Jean-Claude the Devil in Winston in the show Dinosaurs, the one where they're dinosaurs.
I mean, he was probably in a dinosaur suit. I mean, I remember watching that show as a kid, but I can probably only name you probably 10 scenes that I remember from it.
He may have just been a voice.
I think so.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I have a not stupider. I have a different Tim Curry. A different Tim Curry reference. He's in Annie, the musical.
Oh yeah.
He plays Rooster. That's how I know him, because we used to watch Annie ad nauseum growing up. So he's always the guy from Annie.
Okay. Yeah, because it was one of those things where like he was scattered enough in the media that I was consuming as a kid. Like I had seen Rocky Horror Picture Show by 1995, I think twice, and obviously Home Alone 2. When did Home Alone 2? When did that come out?
92.
No, I'm forgetting. 92.
92.
Okay, so
yeah.
So, I mean, I had seen that a bunch of times.
Cool.
His audio cut out for you, Alan.
Yeah.
Ooh, Ryan, I'm so sorry your audio cut out. I gotta tell you, watching this movie, I did look up Tim Curry going, space! And have done nothing but watch that since I watched it 2 days ago. And it lives rent-free in my head forever now.
Yeah. I recognize a lot of other people in this movie though too.
Well, this was like, I didn't know anything about this movie, and this was nothing but like just welcome surprise after welcome surprise of actors.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah,
Am
it
I
was.
back? Can you guys hear
Yes,
me? There
I
we
can
go.
hear you.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Sorry, the video also froze, so I couldn't tell if you guys could.
Yeah, no worries.
I couldn't see my box. Anyway, so that's where, so this is where I know him from. This is also where I learned who Mamas and the Papas were because of this movie.
That's incredible.
So obviously I had heard that song before. Like my parents played the station, occasionally. So like I knew that song. But then they started singing it and I never heard like, because in the movie the guys would sing songs to themselves to do the work, like because obviously the movie was going for a certain feel when it came to the help, to get them into to the porters, to get them into the Congo area.
Yeah.
But then they started singing that song. I remember asking my dad, like, what is this? Is this something that they're making up for them? Like, whoa, this sounds familiar. What is it? And he was like, oh, this is from the Mamas and the Papas. And then I think for a week, my dad broke out like a greatest hits album from them, I think. And and it was in like the family stereo for a while. So
that's so cool. I'm going to ask an obvious question that I know the answer to. Alan, how do you know the Mamas and the Papas first?
Well, I know Mama Koss from a certain TV show.
Yeah, you do.
Lost.
The excellent use of make your own kind of music.
Yeah.
I still get chills when I think about that, by the way.
Yeah. Speaking of Lost, Devin, did you recognize any actors in this from a certain TV show?
No. Did you? Laura Linney? No, she's not in Lost.
No, she is not.
I know she's in Ozark, though. I caught her from there.
She is in Ozark. No, there's a character from Lost, an actor from Lost in this.
Who?
Mr. Echo.
Mr. Echo?
Yeah.
Really?
He plays the tour guide right before they start singing Mamas and the Papas.
Oh my gosh.
He's like the guy they meet up with.
That's incredible. I didn't even recognize him. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Oh. Speaking of actors in this movie, there was a shot of Ernie Hutchinson walking into the temple with a backpack and a gun, and I went, that's not a gun or a backpack. That's 100% a proton pack.
Who are you gonna call?
I'm so conditioned to see that silhouette with a proton pack that I'm like, he's not handling a rifle, obviously.
Yeah,
that's one big Twinkie.
Yeah, actually, something interesting with him. He actually considers this to be his favorite role that he's ever done.
No way.
It
was just
he had my favorite line in this whole thing, where the tribesmen in the jungle laugh when he tells them that he's in charge. Like, it's because I'm black. And I was like, you get it, Ernie Hudson. Like, you go. No, he was good in this. I can see, like, he has a lot more to do in this than he did in Ghostbusters, so I can completely understand that.
Yeah.
Did you guys recognize Dylan Walsh at all?
He was so familiar to me the whole time, and I was mixing him up with someone else, I think.
I know him only from this.
Okay. I know him because he was on Superman and Lois. He played General Sam Lane, Lois's dad. So Superman's father-in-law. So he was in like every episode of that show. So I was like, I know this guy from somewhere, and I was like, oh, that's it. He was also on Nip Tuck, if you ever watched that.
Maybe I know him from the trailers of that?
Maybe.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else I know him. But he has one of those faces. Like, I think, did I mix him up with Steve Guttenberg? I did.
Maybe. Yeah, I can see that.
I mixed him up with Steve Guttenberg in my head, 100%.
And it's funny that you mentioned Laura Linney from Ozark, because I still have not watched that. To me, she's always going to be the wife from the Truman Show.
She That was an incredible role of hers. She has not aged, and I'm so impressed. She looks like that in Ozark.
Yeah.
It's incredible. And it's what, 30 years later?
Yeah.
Not actually 30, but
like 25.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Good for her. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. One of the other, two of the actors who are uncredited in this, and I want to talk about them because they are some of my favorite, like guest stars. I don't know how else to put it.
Can I guess who they are?
Yeah, sure.
Joey Pants.
Yes.
And who was the other one? Oh, somebody else showed up in here. I was like, oh, I didn't know they were in it. Who was the other one? I'm blanking on his name.
The captain, the Sesame Cake guy.
Okay. Yeah. I was like, I know this guy. Why isn't he showing up on the IMDb list?
Yeah, they are all the way down. Like, you have to go to see all of the cast and scroll all the way down to the bottom.
Okay.
Wow.
Is there a reason they're uncredited?
I have no idea.
Okay.
All of the research that I could find and do, I couldn't find a reason for it. Okay. But both the only thing I can think of is that because of the success of Jurassic Park and knowing where the source material is coming from, that maybe these guys wanted to like some part in it, and compared to and probably they just walked in or probably had their agents call and be like, hey, we want a spot on this film. And they were like, well, these are the spots we have. And you could either play, like a resistance fighter general and a smuggler at the airport.
Solid parts all around, though. Now, hold on. Was this movie set up to be like the next Jurassic Park?
I do, from what I can find, it sounds like they were trying to recapture what they did with Jurassic Park in this, but there were some choices made that kind of went against that actually happening. One was just a tech. Someone in here decided to speak up. One of there was a technological issue when it came to the gorillas, particularly Amy and the gray gorillas in this. They could not get hair to look right on CGI for the time. So that's why they went towards people in suits. And this kind of gets into some of the hate in this movie. People complain about, like, oh, it's just a bunch of people in suits jumping around and all of this talk that, frankly, I couldn't care less about. But it's a podcast. It's supposed to talk about stuff people couldn't care less about. So here we are. I would rather this than the possibility of bad CGI popping up. Give me a person in a monkey suit day in and day out, as long as it looks decent, which it does in this movie, as far as I'm concerned anyway, over less than stellar CGI. That's one of the complaints I see a lot about this movie. What did you guys think about the effects in this? Because there is almost next to none CGI in this movie.
You can tell. So it took me a while to like understand. Not understand. It took me a while to, I guess, realize what the the monkeys were. Because I'm like, is it like a robotic monkey? I'm like, that doesn't look like a real monkey, but it's not a robot. I thought it was good for what it was. Like, you can't necessarily like train a gorilla to do exactly that, and it doesn't seem like it would be as much as it was worth. I mean, for comparison, I'm trying to do a quick Google. The original Jumanji, it was 1995, and the monkeys in that look terrible. I mean, not terrible, but they don't look like they would like. They don't look like they would like hold up as well as Amy does. Because like, I actually started really getting attached to Amy, like as the movie went on, and I get that she was a person in a suit, but like, I thought she was a cool character. Like, I like the fact that in the plane she like points at Laura Linney. She's like, ugly woman, and I'm like, yeah, you get it, Amy.
The thing about Jumanji being the same year and having monkeys in that is those monkeys are designed to look weird because they're not supposed to look like actual monkeys. They're supposed to look like game pieces of monkeys.
Okay. Well, I'm trying to think of like what a comparable 90 like Sid's dog from Toy Story 1. Like,
yeah,
what a comparable like realistic animal would look like.
I think this has a good blend. Like, I'm glad that they went with the suits because I think this is an improvement on the 1960s Planet of the Apes, and still better than the 2001 Planet of the Apes. Because you don't actually have to have them talking. It's just a speaker. But yeah, I like the effects in this. I thought the suits were good. I liked how they teased the white gorillas a bit. So
yeah,
yeah, actually,
no, go for it.
No. Okay. So I was actually going to play off of that. So there were problems with the movie where the director, the writers, everyone was upset about one aspect of this movie when it was finally pieced together, was that the lighting for the gray gorillas. They spent months creating those suits, and supposedly each and every one was unique, and they were trying to portray that there were certain gray gorillas doing certain things. Like they were working as a team. But because of the lighting, one in the sand pit in the diamond mine, because all the rock was red, and then you had these gray gorillas, these suits going all over the place. They couldn't get the lighting right to show how unique they were. So all of their shots, except for like the stills of like their heads, came out to be all kind of distorted and blurry. So I was like, well, that kind of explains that, because like I said, except for when you had the still shots like on their heads, you really couldn't you really couldn't see how unique each one's face and body type was. So that kind of sucks. I think it was Sam Winston, or the design Stan Winston puppet department or effects studio was the one that was in charge of that whole thing. And that was one of the things that he was very much upset about. And he wasn't mad at anyone because the cinematographer was just as upset about the situation.
Right.
It happens.
Were they effective villains for you guys? Like, did you like feel worried for them at all during the movie? Or because I think, especially knowing that this is Michael Crichton, I think that like dinosaurs hold a different level of threat to me than like a gorilla is. But gorillas are huge and they're very strong and they're very menacing. So like I can see a world where this definitely works.
Yeah, I mean, they were definitely a threat for me. Like, they seemed scary, and I like I said before, I like the mystery of what happened to Bruce Campbell. He just shouldn't be in wooded areas alone.
No, never ends well for that man.
But yeah, I thought I thought the way they used him was effective, so it worked for me.
I like the idea, though, that they had different roles and functions and that formed the design of them. I think that's really cool in a level that I didn't know about. Because I actually did quite like the history of them. Like, I thought they're, like... like, the reason for them being. And that was, like, the ancient people that were there kind of, like, raised them to be their guardians, right?
Yeah. Well, that's guards. And, yeah, and I always have, every time I watch this movie, I don't know why this happens to me every single time. When they're going through the film and they explain, and they finally get to that part where like they're like translating what the walls say, and they explain how these violent gorillas like came to be, and I always get a part where I think, I'm like, hang on a second. This was like thousands of years ago. These monkeys wouldn't still be around. They would be dead like all the humans were. But then I'm like, oh, no, no, no. They bred them to be this way. So this is like forced evolution. So like
Yeah.
the descendants of them are going to be as nasty and ugly as the original ones were, which I like the fact on a different point, and this might be completely accidental. I like the fact that they turned them gray, and it has to do with a documentary I watched about evolution or an aspect of evolution, and they tapped on a story from Russia back in like the 20s and 30s, where they were seeing if they could domesticate a certain breed of fox that lived out in like the central part of Russia, and as they domesticated them, doing the whole classic, like the ones with who were too aggressive got taken away, and the nice ones were kept. They all started turning gray and white. So like when they were being domesticated, the traits getting like condensed in the genes as the generations went by, it changed their fur color.
So interesting. I wonder why. Did it say why at all?
This was like 15 years ago. They
It's
might
so
have. I just
fascinating to
forgot
me.
that part of it. I just I just I just remember the core of it. But I always find it fascinating that kind of coincides with like the fact that these gorillas are gray when like normal gorillas are black, or
Yeah.
black or brown when it comes to their fur color. So I just it was one of those things where it's like where it's like the science of breeding kind of interferes with like a fictional story, and like the science, quote unquote, behind it kind of line up. Um, there was a cameo in this movie that I learned about a couple years ago, and every time it happens, I giggle to myself. And it is a musical performer who is also cameoed in another movie that is based off a book that was written by the same Arthur. Author.
Do you want to guess, Devin? I know who it is.
Based off of that, do you know who it is?
There's literally only one person I can think that cameoed in Jurassic Park that was musical.
Okay.
Samuel L. Jackson.
It wasn't a cameo.
What?
No, is it Jimmy Buffett? Is he in this movie?
Jimmy Buffett is one of the pilots of the 727. Yeah.
That's like, what was that
Jimmy
movie?
Buffett's in this movie.
It wasn't Deep Blue Sea. What was the movie you had where there was like a weird cameo for a pilot again? It was the underwater movie with aliens at the bottom of it.
Sphere? Or no.
It was Sphere.
Oh. Yeah, it was The Abyss.
Who was the cameo in that?
I thought it was Sphere. It was the helicopter pilot.
That was it.
At the beginning. It's oh crap, what's his name? Sports. The album Sports.
Oh, Huey Lewis.
I can't remember his name right now.
Huey Lewis, yeah. I love this, like, just keep making, like, relatively famous singers, just keep making them pilots in movies, please. Like, in Top Gun 3, can, like, I don't know, Keith Urban be a pilot, please?
Probably not, for multiple reasons.
I don't know anything about Keith Urban other than, like, he's a country singer.
He's married to Tom Cruise's ex-wife, so I doubt that will happen.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's married to Nicole Kidman.
Funny. I didn't know that. I had no idea. That's very funny. Yes, even better. I want him to be the rival pilot now.
Danger Zone.
Okay, so so one thing about this movie that I finally realized on this watch through, because I don't watch this movie that much, like I don't watch it a lot, even though it's it's really important to me. The scene where the assistant is running down the stairs of the temple after being attacked, and he's just yelling, "Help me, help me, help me."
Yeah.
And he falls over dead, and then the gray gorilla comes by and throws something at them.
Yeah.
And it is clearly a bloody head
Yeah.
that the gorilla had ripped off the guard with him. Okay.
Yeah.
For the longest time, between the first time I saw this and up until a few years ago, every time I described that scene to like someone, mainly my wife, because again, this movie doesn't really come up that often or whatever, I always thought it was a brain, like a legit brain. Like I have a
Oh.
memory of being a full-on human, like, like anatomy classroom model brain for some reason for the longest time. And it wasn't until this time where like I paused it to like stare at whatever it was on the floor. I'm like, oh, okay, it's a head. Got it. Like,
So,
um,
or this is a Mandela effect. Ryan, I have a question for you. Is it Bernstein or
yeah.
Bernstein Bears? This is important.
Okay, so you're gonna have to pick something else because you got to remember I'm a dyslexic and I grew up as a
Oh, right.
dyslexic kid,
Oh, right.
so
It
the
was
word pronunciation is not a good one to try for me.
fair. All right. I don't
Okay.
have another one. That's
Um,
my Mandela effect. That's it.
there is a Mandela effect apparently for some people for this movie. I've never heard of this before until I started doing the research for this. Apparently there are some people who are convinced that there was a scene where Amy picks up the laser gun
What?
and uses it. I know. I think
I
stupid.
I
And as
want
far as
it.
I'm concerned, yeah, like as far as I'm concerned, half of these Mandela effect things, except for like the logo changes and things like that, but like Shazam or Kazam or whatever that movie was that like
Shaquille O'Neal
was it
was in.
Sinbad was in
Or no, it was Sinbad. Yeah.
or yeah,
Yeah.
like that. I feel I am convinced that all of that is like a birds aren't real thing. They're just more committed to the joke than the birds aren't real people are.
That's fair.
No, people forget that the Shaquille O'Neal movie
Um,
Kazam exists, and that's where
yeah, there's that too.
they just
Yeah.
think Shaquille O'Neal and Sinbad are the same person for some reason.
Don't love that. No, thanks.
Can we talk about the laser gun
Um,
for a second?
We got to talk about the laser gun for a second.
yes,
Because that
I want to
thing's
get to that. That's one of the reasons why I brought it to it.
wild. I don't know what it is about the '90s where you needed diamonds to power lasers, but this movie and Batman and Robin have the same MacGuffin.
They
I
do.
need diamonds, diamonds.
Side note: did the diamonds look real for you guys
No.
for even a second? They look like cheap dollar
Oh
store.
no, those things look
They're
like
so
crystals.
bad. The whole time I'm like, "What is this? This is plastic. Put that down."
Yeah.
Oh, but I love the lasers.
Yeah, there was something in the trivia about where they got them from, and
Nice.
supposedly the one that they threw out of the balloon they couldn't recover because they actually threw it from the balloon over like a forest to get the shot,
Wow.
and they were supposed to like return all of the like all of the things that they got, and they couldn't find it.
Whoops.
But whatever. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, I could at least sit here for 3 hours and like go over this movie with you guys because of how much like I find this movie completely entertaining and fun, and do not go into this wanting something serious. It's just a goofy adventure movie. Like I mean, like Tim Curry's character, Ernie Hudson's character when it comes to being the guide are just examples of how lighthearted this movie is. I mean, you're talking about a monkey doing sign language that has a battery pack that speaks for her whenever she signs. So there's that.
Look, Ryan, in case I haven't made this clear, this movie's now made my list. I love this movie. I will watch
Good.
this at least 2 other times in my life, if not more, this year. I also have to tell you, there wasn't a single point in this movie I ever understood what Tim Curry's character's name was. He says it a couple of times.
Yeah,
At no point have I ever guessed it was Herkimer Homolka. At one point, someone's like, Mr.
Yeah,
Homolka. I'm like, that's it. That's the thing I'm going to call him.
Mr. Homolka.
Yeah.
I really hope someone at some Comic-Con walked up to a signing table of his and just went, Mr. Homoka.
That's the best kind. Oh, I love it so much.
So I wanted to say two more things, but now I can't remember what that one thing is. Something I saw when right we went live, and I want you guys to understand just how much in the vein this movie is for me. IMDb gives you a list of suggested movies depending on what movie you're looking at, based off what other movies you have like rated,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
and the suggested movies for me from this movie reads like the collection of DVDs and VHS tapes I had as a 12-year-old.
So got it right.
As like a 12 or like 15-year-old. So here's the list. Volcano.
And that was going to be my first guess.
Okay. Anaconda.
Yep.
Alec.
Mm-hmm.
Broken Arrow. Deep Blue Sea. Sphere. The Relic. Lake Placid. And Arachnophobia. We're on the list of like suggested movies. If like, hey, if you like this, and I'm like, oh, good, I've seen like 90% of these. This is great.
We should pack it in. It's got you down, Ryan. Like it knows you better than I know you.
Like, but like I said, I could go on going over each and every scene of this, but yeah, I'm just happy that both you guys walked away. Oh, now I remember. This is so Kafka. Who's Kafka? Tell me. Devin, please tell me. Whoa! Albie, get down. He just destroyed my desk.
Oh, Albie.
That scene with the Kafka reference. Please tell me that. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's Franz Kafka, the guy that wrote Metamorphosis, right? Like that's who he was referencing.
Yeah. Now, Devin, I assume that you would. Alan, I didn't think of you first because I didn't know if that was in your or not. Was that something that you picked up on, or
Kafka? What was it again?
Franz Kafka. He wrote the book called Metamorphosis. They reference it in the producers. What was it? It was when they were reading through the bad scripts.
Oh, the man who turned into a cockroach?
A giant cockroach. No, too good. That one. Yeah, that's Kafka.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, he was an author that specialized in setting like people from like the real world into a ridiculous, surreal situation and just like playing out how ridiculous that would unfold. And this is another thing that I learned through this movie, because that scene happened and I asked my dad, like, who's Kafka? Because of just the way that scene portrayed. And my dad told me about it, and he showed me some stuff that, like, he showed me some of his writings, and we went through it. And it was just every time that scene hits, I laugh because it's true. Joke. Like, that scene wasn't just him referencing that author. They were playing that scene like that author would have written that scene.
Of course they were. Oh yeah.
And so like it is one of the best like small little like like wink tribute to like someone that it's one of the best small tributes I've seen in a film for like, or like some writer's inspiration. Like that probably happened because one of the writers on the film really likes Kafka, so they were like, I want to do this for him, and it's perfect.
It makes sense.
Yeah. So that's all I have when it comes to this. I'm just happy you guys like it.
I just discovered that this movie was nominated for some awards that I want to talk about.
Tell me.
Do you guys know what the Razzie Awards are?
Yes, I do.
All right.
Yes.
What categories do you think Congo was nominated for in 1996? Putting your biases aside, what?
Right.
It was not.
Yeah, no.
Are they going to do worst actor or worst supporting actor?
Who do you
either
think was...
worst actor or worst supporting actor?
They're going to do worst supporting actor, and it's going to be Tim Curry.
Yes, he was nominated for that.
I hate it. I hate it.
He lost to Dennis Hopper in Waterworld.
Good.
What else? There were more.
Worst special effects.
Not a category.
Oh, worst picture?
Yes.
Okay. It didn't win that.
It did not win. It was nominated with Waterworld, The Scarlet Letter.
Oh.
That starred Demi Moore and Gary Oldman. It's Pat, which is an SNL movie that nobody saw.
Right.
And then it lost to Showgirls.
All right, that's fair. Totally fair.
That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
It also got nominated for Worst Supporting Actress. Do you know who got nominated for that?
It's not Laura Linney, is
Amy.
it?
It's not. It was Amy, the talking gorilla. Yeah. She
fell in love with Amy.
She lost to Madonna in 4 Rooms, but the other, like, one of the other nominees is Bo Derek and Tommy Boy. I'm like, yeah, that's fair. Like,
That's fair.
Yeah. I love Tommy Boy, but Bo Derek just is there.
Imagine being Madonna and losing, quote unquote, that to a person in a gorilla suit.
Yeah.
Like, oof.
Yeah. Well,
Showgirls won a lot at the Razzies this year, so
that makes sense.
It was nominated for worst director, worst screenplay, worst new star, which was Amy the Talking Gorilla. The worst. Oh, it was nominated for worst song as well for "Feel the Spirit of Africa" from Congo.
Is that an original song or is that
it's
one
an original
that
song?
I didn't love that
Lyrics
song. I'm going to be
by
entirely honest.
Lebo M, who did The Lion King.
It very much felt like something that belonged in Book of Mormon. That one.
Yeah.
Did not love it.
The other the other nominees for that category were "Hold Me, Thrill Me, Kiss Me, Kill Me" from Batman Forever, music by U2.
Right.
That was also nominated for a Golden Globe. The one that I'm reading this whole thing verbatim from the Razzie Wikipedia page. It lost to "Walk Into the Wind," also known as the love theme from the rape scene from Showgirls.
Oh my god. Whoa.
Which is not what you're expecting. Not what I was expecting to see.
Nope.
But yeah, it tied with the Scarlet Letter for nominations that year. And Showgirls had Congo had 7 nominations. Showgirls had 13.
Wow.
So, yeah. I don't think this film's Razzie bad. I think it's enjoyable. It's a 90s popcorn flick. Like, this is what I expect from a 90s movie.
And it, like Ryan said, there were parts that like made me genuinely laugh. Like, Ryan, I like awkward humor. This scene where the guy's like, "What's your name? Oh, that must be a really unique name for where are you from?" Like the whole like just trying to make small talk. I'm like, this shouldn't have made the final cut of the movie, but boy does it hurt me and I love it.
All right. Anything else for Congo?
No, that is I want to leave this off from a conversation that we did almost a year and a half ago on a movie that Alan picked. We had a very long argument about the title of said movie and me saying that it didn't make any sense. And I feel like the title of said movie makes more sense for this movie than just calling it Congo. So I would like to officially dub Congo the new Chasing Amy.
It's really good.
Bold of you to think we did Chasing Amy a year and a half ago. That was a long...
My of time is all screwed up, so we're good.
No, that's fair. Would you switch it with Chasing Amy? Like, so Chasing Amy is now Congo?
Oh, like Congo? Yes.
Yeah,
I would like that a lot.
And and this movie is now Congo.
And wait. So yes. So then Silent Bob just does a whole speech on your Congo, man. Like,
Yeah.
I think that's so much better.
yeah.
You need to go. You want to find love. You need to go into the jungle, and you have to fight, and you have to go through floods and get attacked by hippos, because that happens in the game of love sometimes. You're going to drown in lakes to find the one that's meant for you.
It plays into Jay and Silent Bob, my jungle love.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
That they were alluding to that the whole time. They had to know.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that does it for our discussion on Congo this week. Devin, next week is your pick. What are you having us watch?
So, I've been slowly developing a fandom recently that I haven't told you guys about in depth. And I finally found a way to introduce you guys to the thing I am now obsessed with. This is the closest my pick is going to be to April. And April, in my book, is officially Terry Pratchett month. It is the month he was born. I'm going to go do a Terry Pratchett thing. So we haven't talked about my obsession with Terry Pratchett yet, but boy howdy are we going to talk about it, because I am making you guys watch the 2022 movie The Amazing Maurice. It is an animated movie based on the book The Amazing Maurice and His Educated Rats. It stars Hugh Laurie, Amelia Clarke, and David Tennant. It's really good, and I'm really excited to share this with you guys.
You had me at Hugh Laurie.
Yes. Good.
I've never heard of this, so this is going to be an interesting one. So
I cannot wait. I hope you guys can watch it easily. It's very British.
All right. Well,
I went to go look it up, and I got Mumford.
Nope, not the same thing.
Nope. All right.
The Amazing Mumford.
All right, well, that does it for this week's episode of You Have to Watch This Podcast. If you're watching here on Twitch, go ahead and hit that follow button. You guys have to subscribe to us on YouTube, where you can catch up on all older episodes of You Have to Watch This Podcast. Most of the 9 years is on our YouTube. So
cool.
In the meantime, you can also listen to You Have to Watch This Podcast on all major podcasting platforms. And check out all the other Rum Runners Podcast Network podcasts at rumrunnerspodcastnetwork.com. Until next time, for You Have to Watch This Podcast, I'm Alan.
I'm Ryan.
And I'm Devin.
And until next time, remember, all the leaves are brown and the sky is gray. You guys aren't gonna do
it. I can't. I'm sick. I believe in you, though. Jeez, not that, Ryan. That looks horrific.
That's what I got. I went to go Google it, and I tapped on it, and you said animated.